Picture this. You stand shoulder to shoulder in the front rank of a Roman battle line. The ground trembles beneath your feet. Thousands of men roar like lions. Shields slam together with bone-jarring force, echoing like a violent car crash. The enemy is just 10 feet away. Screaming battle cries, weapons raised high, eyes filled with rage. How long do you honestly think you would last? 30 seconds. Not because you're weak or cowardly, but because the average modern person has zero preparation for the single most efficient, disciplined, and terrifying killing machine the ancient world ever created. The Roman lead, he wasn't a Hollywood superhero with impossible strength. He was an ordinary teenage boy from a farm or small town, systematically transformed by one of the most sophisticated, ruthless, and effective systems of military training, psychology, logistics, and iron discipline in human history. Today we're marching step by step through his entire brutal life, from the moment of ruthless recruitment, through hellish training and crushing equipment, all the way to the blood-soaked battlefield and the painful aftermath. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you would break, and why this extraordinary system allowed Rome to conquer and rule the known world for centuries. Let's march. Rome never accepted just anyone. They carefully selected. According to Vegetius, in his classic military manual, Epitoma Rei Militaris, recruiters demanded minimum height of around 5 feet, 7 to 8 inches. In Roman measure, for the best units, broad chest, powerful shoulders, thick arms and legs, built for endurance. Flawless eyesight, any vision defect meant instant dismissal because a blind man in the ranks endangered everyone. Ideal age, 17 to 23 years old, young enough for the army to completely reshape both body and mind like wet clay. During the Republic, only full Roman citizens could join. You weren't merely enlisting, you embodied Rome itself on the battlefield. Even after Marius let Republic reforms opened ranks slightly, the physical and moral standards remained brutally high. Failed any single test, sent home in shame. Pass. You had just stepped into the most demanding military training program ever devised in the ancient world. No welcome ceremony, no mercy. From the first sunrise, the raw tyro recruit was thrown straight into hell. The daily grind included speed marches with full kit, running, leaping over ditches, swimming strong rivers while fully clothed, and carrying heavy logs and stones to build raw power. All of this happened long before recruits ever touched real steel weapons. You trained relentlessly with wooden swords and shields, twice the actual combat weight. After months of swinging those punishing 10 to 15-pound practice tools, the real gladius and scutum felt almost weightless in your hands. Your speed, power, and endurance exploded. The absolute heart of training was the palus, a thick, man-height wooden post driven deep into the ground as your constant enemy. You attacked it for hours every day. High thrusts targeting the head and neck, low cuts slashing at the legs to cripple, and the signature killing blow, a short, vicious upward stab under the ribs straight into vital organs. Cardinal rule: never slash wildly. A slash wounds but rarely stops a determined foe. A precise, deep thrust kills quickly. Polybius famously noted that flashy Celtic and Germanic longsword swings looked spectacular yet often failed to neutralize a hardened opponent. The Roman gladius, short, perfectly balanced at roughly 20 inches, with a deadly point, was engineered specifically for brutal close-quarters efficiency. Yet combat skills formed only part of the curriculum. Every single legionary also mastered building a complete fortified marching camp in just a few hours, digging deep via raising 8-foot palisades, and laying out organized streets. They learned to swim rivers in armor, perform basic cavalry drills for emergencies, and endure the legendary Roman marshes. 18 to 20 miles per normal day ETR, or 25 to 30 plus miles on force marshes etter magnum, all while carrying 65 to 90 plus pounds. Then they built camp before eating or resting. Caesar himself recorded legions covering almost impossible distances to intercept enemies, arriving exhausted yet still fully Could you match that today? Most modern athletes would collapse after just 2 days. Imperial era kit, 1st-3rd century AD. was a masterpiece of brutal engineering. Lorica segmentata armor, 15. 25 pounds of overlapping steel plates on leather straps, offering surprising flexibility yet demanding constant maintenance, or it could literally disintegrate. Helmet Gallic, or Italic style. 3 to 5 pounds of bronze and iron that protected brilliantly, but trapped scorching heat, turning your skull into an oven under the Mediterranean sun. Curved scutum. Shield. 15 to 22 pounds of layered plywood, leather, and iron edging, designed to deflect blows and support the famous tight shield wall. Gladius sword. Approximately 2 pounds. 2 heavy pilla. 9 to 13 pounds total, with long iron shanks that bent on impact, pinning enemy shields and forcing them to abandon protection. Plus tools, tent stakes, several days, rations, and personal gear. Total carried load. 75 to 100 plus pounds. Bone archaeology reveals the true cost. Massively developed right arm muscles from constant shield work, compressed lumbar vertebrae from lifelong heavy marching, and joint wear that often crippled veterans by their mid. This equipment didn't merely protect you, it physically transformed you into an entirely different, harder species of human. A full legion of 4,000 to 6,000 men operated in 10 cohorts, each divided into 6 centuries of about 80 men. Centurions always led from the absolute front, instantly recognizable by their transverse helmet crests and vine staffs, which they used without hesitation on any wavering soldier. The tactical genius was the triplex AC's 3 rotating battle lines. The front line engaged in savage, claustrophobic combat, often less than 3 square feet per man. After 10 to 15 exhausting minutes, they rotated smoothly through gaps. Fresh troops stepped forward, while exhausted men recovered in the rear. Enemies faced wave after relentless wave of rested, disciplined killers. The psychological effect was utterly devastating. You're in that front rank. Shields collide at full running speed. The impact rattles every bone. Your untrained arms burn and fail almost instantly. One single stumble creates a fatal gap. Your centurion screams tactical orders you can barely process through the roaring adrenaline haze. Modern research, especially Dave Grossman's on killing, shows humans possess a deep, instinctive resistance to killing. Untrained men freeze. Rome destroyed that hesitation with thousands of hours of perfect muscle memory. Advance. Shield push. Stab deep. Recover. Repeat. It became pure reflex. Even amid pure terror, layered on top, blaring trumpets delivering coded commands, rhythmic boots, synchronized shield knocks, and collective roars that created a hypnotic group trance. You were no longer an individual. You had become Rome itself. Discipline was absolute, the rare but terrifying punishment of decimation. Executing 1 man and 10 by lot, beaten to death by comrades. Insured units almost never broke. When the fighting stops, your ordeal continues for hours and days. Glycogen stores crash. Dehydration hits hard. Lysine trays 4 liters of sweat in metal armor under blazing sun. Muscles tear microscopically, and countless minor wounds appear. Without antibiotics, even shallow cuts could turn deadly from infection within days. Roman military surgeons ran advanced field hospitals with organized arrow extraction, amputations, and cauterization. Many men returned to the ranks, yet the lifelong physical toll remained crushing. Then came more work. Burying the dead, treating the wounded, repairing gear, cataloging loot, rebuilding the camp, and preparing for the next brutal march at dawn. Men fought for the comrade on their left and right, as much as for Rome itself. Even 2,000 years later, the world's finest modern armies still study and adapt these exact Roman principles. Next time you watch a Roman movie or stand before museum armor, look deeper. See the invisible foundation of sweat, broken bodies, iron will, and brotherhood that made everything possible. That is the true, awe-inspiring legacy of the Roman legionary. Tell me in the comments right now, which aspect shocks or impresses you most? The savage training, the crushing gear, the brilliant tactics, or the unbreakable brotherhood that turned normal boys into legends? I personally read every single comment. If this video gave you fresh respect for the Roman war machine, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. More hard-hitting ancient history drops soon.